Hello, TopFanRivalry followers, and welcome to another edition of Bleeding a Blue. It's been a few minutes since we've done this, and we are excited about it. We're trying to keep Mikey awake the best of our ability. But Mona Lisa is smiling. How are you doing, Mikey?
I am good, and I'm sorry about that yawn. I am still fighting this coldish thing. When I talk a lot, I start coughing. So excuse
Forgiveness.
me if I start
All
coughing.
about forgiveness. You are totally fine, my friend.
All
You are
right.
totally fine. Okay, so here's my first question for you. Dodger fans here in LA, Orange County, and abroad are losing their minds because the Dodgers are 20 games over 500, but they're only 2 games over the Diamondbacks and the Padres who are playing lights out. Time, time to panic. Yes or no?
No, I mean 20 games over 500 for especially what the Dodgers have dealt with all season long. I know all teams have injuries. I get it, but we've had more than our fair share, especially to prominent players, not just the fringe. Oh, Michael Grove pulled a groin. Shoot, we can live with that. But Yamamoto or you know Walker Bueller or even even someone like uh, Bobby Miller, who I'm hoping it's something mechanical, but I think it's more brain. Clayton Kershaw not coming back until after the All-Star break. Dustin May going down when he was supposed to come back. Just and that's just starting pitching. You know,
Right.
we've had tough relieving injuries. Trinan, bruised Dark Gratterall, uh, you name it. Ryan
Yeah.
Brazier, who is solid. He was great last year, and hopefully he's coming back very soon as well. So we tend to be getting some of these guys back, but we were so amped to have Walker Bueller back or Bobby Miller back, and they're not the same. They're not the same guys that we've grown accustomed to. Um,
Correct.
so it's great to say, oh, they're back or they're working their way back and they're close. But if you're not performing, you might as well be hurt because you're not helping. And Walker Bueller, someone like that, I feel bad for him because he says it. I'm I'm hurting the team. I'm not going out there to do this. To pitch like this, I feel pretty darn good. I don't know what's going on.
So, so
You
here's why I'm not hitting the panic button. I'm just looking right now at the standings. So we're 2 games ahead of Arizona and San Diego. They're a plus 4.5. Then you have the Braves, and then you have the Mets, who are 2 games behind. So that means we are a plus 8.5 from missing the playoffs
right.
with 40 games left to play. Now,
It
stranger
would
things
have
have
to be a catastrophic. I can't see this team slipping so much with the talent that is here.
yeah, stranger things have happened. Stranger
Yes.
things have happened. But that being said, um, I just don't see us missing the playoffs. Now, there are some arguments where people in Dodgerland want us to get a wild card spot instead of win the division because the last couple of seasons we've been out in the first round, figuring that it's all that time off. I
Are
don't.
you and I on the same page? I would much rather still win the division and get to set up.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yeah. I would much
And you
rather
can
win the
ask
division.
any team, they'll tell you the same thing. Give us the time to recoup and set up our stuff the way we want. If you gave a team a choice, said we guarantee you will take first, or would you rather come from
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know the
Well,
wild card?
100%. And
Yeah,
And so here's my argument with that. I'd rather win the division. We are so banged up, we could use the couple of days off.
Yeah,
So if I'm Dave Roberts and I'm in the clubhouse, I tell the guys, boys, it's no different than having the All-Star week. The only difference is we can't look at it like we still have 75 or 80 games. We're now playing a best of five series. So we cannot make mistakes. And
yeah.
so
Maybe bring in once the playoffs roll around, OKC's season is done. Let's play them.
yeah,
You know, like practice games or something. To keep up with live pitching and what have you. I'm not a big believer in just sit around for 4 or 5 days and wait. I
no,
would
of course not.
yeah, I think there should be some scrimmaging or something. Um,
So
so you don't get all rusty, because that seems to be what happens, is that teams seem to come out slow, and you can't do that in the playoffs or you get rolled.
no, you can't do that in the playoffs, exactly. So my argument, you made a very good point. Now, for those of you listening to this, Mikey is a diehard Dodger fan, but he's very level-headed. He'll call a spade when it's time to fold it, he'll call it. And you made mention of something on a live earlier this week where you said, hey, you know, the Dodgers are now 20 games over 500. They were 17 games over 500 with Mookie. The other teams are just playing well. True or false, Mikey? We got 40 games left. That's true, by the way. But true or false? It's not time to scoreboard watch until we're about 5 to 7 games away, because if the Dodgers lose 10 out of 15 games, it doesn't matter what Arizona or San Diego does. We can only control our own destiny. Are you in agreement with that?
Yeah, I don't expect to lose 10 out of 15 by any means,
Me
or
neither.
12 out of 15, whatever. But yeah, I mean, we are up 2 games. There should be, I mean, they're human. They are going to scoreboard watch. But even if we lose tonight, we're still a game. We're still a game up if they win.
Right.
Um,
Right.
I would say that is more for if when you're not in first place anymore, and then you kind of do need to see where everybody's at. But you still got to win games.
Yeah.
Winning games you know, will take care of itself. If you win games, you're gonna go into the playoffs, probably winning the division. Uh, we have been languishing around 500 for the last month and a half or so, and I guess thank God for playing 500, because if we were playing less than 500, we'd be behind now. So
100%. 100%.
um, I would like to see, like I said, before we started this, we were spitballing a little bit, and I do think there is a little bit of a sense of urgency on my end, where I don't understand why Mookie wouldn't play yesterday. I think taking 3 of 4 against Milwaukee would have been huge, you know, instead of splitting.
May have pain. Who knows?
He might, but they haven't reported anything. So,
They're not going to.
or even something like, you know, I'm gonna say I think Robleski is pitching tonight. Maybe they'll have an opener and then he'll do bulk. I don't know how they're gonna do it, but I mean, literally, I think this is Glasnow's 5th day. It's his day to pitch, but they're like, well, let's give him an extra day. I mean, I would think if they're in panic mode, Mookie would have played yesterday, and Tyler Glasnow would be pitching today. So I do not think the Dodgers are in panic mode. But just from seeing my posts, and some of the other people's posts that run Dodger pages, there's panic amongst fans.
So there is panic amongst fans. Here's what I'm going to say though. Um, no need to panic. Again, 8.5 with 40 games left to play. That means in order to miss the playoffs, that means that the Padres, the Diamondbacks, the Braves, and the Mets all have to play 9 games better than the Dodgers. I don't see it happening.
Yeah, so let's just be honest right now. The Padres and Diamondbacks have played out of their domes this
Yep.
last
Yep.
month. You know, one has won 18 out of 21, the other one like 19 out of 23.
Right.
There's no way you can keep that up for the rest of the year. There's just not. They're going to come back to reality a little bit. So the Dodgers just need to take advantage of the days that those teams lose and win to keep them within arm's reach. Right now, we're running with the football and we're just giving a little stiff arm. Stay back. You know, we haven't got trucked yet, so we'll see what happens.
True. True. I I feel the same way, but I'm not. I don't have this sense of panic. Um, I know that we have a rough 2 weeks ahead of us schedule wise, but then, um, but then after that, I I think I counted up. We have 14 games with teams under 500. Our last 10 games, or 6 of our last 9 games are with the Colorado Rockies. So who always
Still
plays
got to
tough?
win those games. You know, the
Hmm.
Rockies aren't, they're going to do everything in their power. They can play loose, free. They can run whenever they want. They can bunt if they feel like bunting whenever they can do whatever they want. And they're going to go out of their
Yeah.
way to
Make it miserable
try
for the
and wreck
Dodgers.
any team's playoff hopes. You know, if they play the Padres or the Diamondbacks or the Dodgers, you know, they're going to go and try and ruin their seasons. That's all they have to play for now.
Yep. Okay, so let's talk about these next 2 series real quick before we let everybody go. But let's talk about these next 2 series. So we have the Cardinals in St. Louis, who always plays tough, and then we have the Mariners, who have taken a literal nosedive and are 3 games behind the Astros, much to the happiness of your co-host to the Odd Couple, Big Dave. So we're looking at the at home with Mariners in St. Louis. What are your thoughts on these next 6 games?
You know, St. Louis is always scary because they have two Dodger killers on their team with Goldschmidt and Arenado, who have always just. I was very happy to see Nolan Arenado leave the Rockies because that was like 6 or 7 or 8 games less. We had to see him every year.
Yeah.
Um, you know, they can hit. You know, Michaelis for the last few years was pretty good. He's struggling this year with like a 5.26 ERA, something like that. But on any given night, that guy can be dominant. So, you know, in St. Louis, I'm sure it's going to be moist there, yucky. I'm assuming, I don't know what the weather's like there, but
Hot and
I'm
humid.
sure damp regardless.
Yeah.
You know, I would love to say give me 2 of 3 like tonight, though. We don't even know who's pitching yet for us. I mean, the Dodgers know. It hasn't been reported yet. I don't know.
Is it you or me? No, I'm not pitching tonight. Are you pitching tonight?
No, my arm is on the fritz, and
Okay.
I have this cough. So,
So go call a cough all over Goldschmidt and Arenado.
but give me
I
2 of 3 against the Cardinals, and then The Mariners do have a Rosarena in their lineup now, and Cal Raleigh, and they're not they're still in it and they're still fighting. So those are going to be tough games too. And then you got Baltimore, who's just a bunch of young studs. So it doesn't get any easier. And then the Rockies get to play. The Padres go to Colorado. I'm sure they'll probably roll Colorado. I would love it to be like 13-10 type games, though, to at least wreck their bullpens for a while,
Yeah.
But no, the Padres and Diamondbacks, they're doing what they need to do, and the Dodgers are going to have to win games or they're going to get passed by.
Yep. 100%. 100%. So, final thought for you, because believe it or not, we're already 20 minutes into this thing, which is insane. You and I just start pulling our chain and we just start talking Dodgers, and time goes like crazy. Final thought here. Somebody asked me this week, they said, "Are you disappointed with things like River Ryan and others?" And I said, "Listen, Landon Knack and things like that." I said, "Listen, River Ryan, yes, I never want to see anybody hurt, but he wasn't even supposed to be pitching for us this season.
No,
Neither was Landon Knack."
we would have ever even known that he was going to be good.
Yeah, yeah,
And, Landon Knack's a diamond in the rough. I mean, he's pitched well. Justin Robleski has pitched pretty well for the Dodgers. But they're not Yamamoto. They're not Glasnow. They're not, a Jack Flaherty now. They're not proven. They're not playoff, sound. They haven't been through the wars.
Jack
So
Flaherty, Jack Flaherty, and Michael Kopech have been better than I anticipated, and were
yeah,
huge at the All-Star break.
I'm saying right now, as far as the trust tree goes, Kopech should not come in until the 8th or the 9th. I will say this: Evan Phillips seems to have found whatever was ailing him, so I'm happy to see that, because I still do love Evan Phillips, and I do want him to be the 9th inning guy if he's right. But
Yeah.
Kopech, I would start bringing in higher leverage stuff like the 8th inning. He's been coming in the 6th and 7th mostly, and just dominating. I mean, he's like, yes, I look like Craig Kimbrell with my man bun and stuff, but I am not Craig Kimbrell.
I can
I get
pitch.
out. Yes. So, and I'm very happy with what Daniel Hudson has done this season. He had a tough outing yesterday, and and then thank goodness, I guess, Bruce Dark Gratterall came out, and it was less severe than they thought, which obviously,
Huge.
no offense to Bruce Dark Gratterall, but he has no threshold for pain, because it looked like they were going to have to take his leg or something when they were taking him off the field.
Yeah.
So,
so here's
and Joe
my
Kelly scares me. I'm just sorry. I don't have he just is a loose cannon, and you can never really count on him. I'm
yeah,
sorry. I
yeah.
can't.
Yep. So here's my ultimate argument, I should say, or my final thought, right? Um, there are guys that aren't supposed to be up, and they're up and they're producing. There are guys that are up that are supposed to be producing that aren't. There are guys that are up that are supposed to be producing and they are, and vice versa. I'm gonna quote our good friend. I'm gonna quote our good friend being 2 games up where we're at with 40 games left to play with all these injuries, these crazy amount of injuries. I'm going to quote our very good friend, Prince Akeem, and say, "I'm very happy to be here," because that's all I can say at this point. I mean, when you look at what our starting pitching was supposed to be and what it is now, give me Yamamoto back, right? Don't let him miss 40 games. Could we pull out 2 or 3 or 4 more wins? Give me Walker Buehler of the old school Walker Buehler. Could we pull out 2 or 3 more wins? Sure. So where we're at, I'm quoting Prince Akeem.
Yeah. You can, sadly, Bobby Miller and Walker Buehler do not have very good poker faces. When it's not going well, you see it on them.
Yeah,
I mean, they
they
show
wear
it,
it. They wear it. Yeah.
and it's not a good look because they can't seem to get themselves out of it. Once they do, it turns into a spiral. I mean, just a downward spiral, and I think both of them probably would benefit from talking to a specialist seriously about some mental tools to help them control their
Well, hold on a second.
control. I don't know about their anger, but control their composure, you know.
Hold on a second. We're getting a message from Top End Rivalry Sports Stats. No, don't patch him. Hey, Walker, just call Mikey. Take care of it. Okay? I gotta go, man. I'm filming with Mikey. Stop this. Hey, Walker's gonna call you. He says his head's a little scrambled. He's gonna give me a call, Mike. All right,
Bring
Walker,
it,
I gotta go, man.
bring
I'll
it.
talk to you
My initials are MD for a reason.
later. There you go. Well, Top Fan Rivalry followers, a couple things you need to know about this show. Mikey and I are going to do the show even in the offseason. Okay, there's always stuff to talk about with the Dodgers. Mikey's got some great history. I'm happy where they're at. If you are not familiar with it, TopFanRivalry.com has a collectible site. It has a Steve Garvey autographed baseball where he signs it 1981 World or WS champ. There's also a Don Drysdale card on there, and there's also a Sandy Koufax card. If you and you get a locker room discount if you're in locker room. If you're not locker room access, you get a discount by using the code what, Mikey?
Bleeding blue.
That's right. So bleeding blue. You just go after that and you're good to go. So go Dodgers. Mikey, let's do it again next week. Yeah.
Yeah, we should have a lot more to talk about. We're either going to be talking about holding them off, or
Increasing some
we're in a dead
leads.
heat, or we might be a little behind. Who knows? Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
It's the ultimate reality show, baby.
There you go. There you go. All right, Mikey, we'll talk to you soon.
All right, buddy.